Hello, my friends. Welcome to another segment of Hanging with the Boss Lady. I am your host, the Boss Lady herself, Cheryl Jones, aka that little old country girl. How are you doing? I'm doing marvelous, darling, simply marvelous. And guess what? It's that time again. Time to share the spotlight with an extraordinary entrepreneur. I love this idea that God has placed on me to help share the spotlight on a phenomenal person doing phenomenal things in these days and times. Listen, you are an entrepreneur if you are a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses, taking on greater than normal financial risks in order to do so. I know a lot of entrepreneurs and I love hearing their story. I love watching their journey. I love supporting them. And I am going to encourage you to do the same. It's not easy when you start out as an entrepreneur because, as the definition says, you're taking on greater than normal financial risks to do so. As an entrepreneur myself, when I started my publishing company, it was not easy. It was not cheap. It was a strain, but I, as an entrepreneur, had done my research. I knew what was involved, and I knew what I was going to have to do in order to make it work. And to God be the glory, it did work. And thank God today I do own my own book publishing company. And I just absolutely love it. So I have decided to help share the spotlight and to bring kudos and some attention and hopefully some support to other entrepreneurs that are starting out. So that being said, we are going to get ready to start that part of this segment, Entrepreneur Extraordinaire. Hello, guests. Please introduce yourself to my friends.
Hi, everyone. My name is ILONA GOODRICH. And it's nice
Ilona,
to be here.
yes, Ilona Goodrich. Where are you talking to us from?
I am talking to you guys from Far Rockaway, Queens, New York.
Okay, Far Rockaway, all the way in New York. And just to let you know, my friends, I'm talking to you from Concord, North Carolina. So we got a little distance here. But just to also let you know, I have friends all over the place. Very talented, gifted friends. And this young lady is in a class all by herself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move out of the way, and she is going to tell you what her skills and talents are and in what area she is an entrepreneur. The floor is yours.
So, once again, I'm so happy to be here. I am a female musician. I play the drums. I've been playing for 20 plus years. I started when I was 6 years old. I'm now 27, so I'm gonna let y'all do the math. I currently have a business, and it is called Beauty and the Beats. That is definitely something that I came up with for all female musicians as a reminder that you can remain feminine in a male environment, no matter what you play. No matter what you play. And this is a movement that I started for the ladies, and even for the ladies that don't play an instrument. You can still remain feminine in anything that you do. So I just came up with that business. I talked about it with my mom. I prayed on it. And that is something that I launched last year in September. So this year it'll make a year since I started. And I am so happy about it.
Absolutely wonderful. I absolutely love the fact that you say you prayed on it. So the places that you predominantly play music, what would you say is your main arena of playing music?
My main arena is the church. I am a full-blown church girl. I love church. I love everything about it. I mean, that's my roots. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
That's beautiful. And we know that God is going to continue to bless you and open doors. Now, you say that you started this movement and you started playing drums when you were 6 years old?
Yes, I started when I was playing. I started playing the drums when I was 6, and then I started my business last year. So it took me a while to, kind of launch it out.
Okay. So did you take drum lessons? Did you go to a special academy to learn how to play drums?
Every time I tell this story, it's just so amazing. So I did not go to school. It's pretty funny how it happened. My mom and dad were in ministry at the time, and it was on a Sunday morning. I was sitting down, my dad was on the drums, and during that time, you had musicians come in and out. So that day, we didn't have one, and my dad got up to preach, and it was like really, really, really good. And all of a sudden, he just walked up to me and said, "Put your hands out." So I put my little hands out, and he put oil on it and started anointing my hands and said, "You're going to play the drums." And he just kept doing it. He said, "You're going to play the drums. You're going to play the drums." And then he looked at me, smiled, and said, "Get on." So I got on. I started off a little slow. I couldn't reach the cymbal. I couldn't really reach the foot pedal. So can you imagine? I'm just stretching and just like, trying to make ends meet. And it was like to the point where my mom, she would play the keyboard too. And she would be like, "Come on, Lona, you can do it. Speed it up a little bit, speed it up." So I would get a little frustrated, of course, because, I'm just a kid. I'm trying to make it work. But one Sunday, it was my dad's birthday celebration. And it was so heavy in there. And I'm on the drums playing. Next thing I know, something came over me. And next thing, I was just going. I mean, I was tearing the drums up. And everybody had to stop and look. They was like, "Is that Lona?" They was like, "Is that Lona?" So ever since, it's been history. I haven't stopped playing.
Wow, look at that. You just anointed your hands and the Lord took over from there. Ladies and gentlemen, she never went to school. And I have to tell you that I have heard her play. You can see her. We'll talk later on about where you can see her, where you'll find her. But listen, this girl is a powerhouse. She's dynamite on those drums. There's only one person I know who can sit her down, and that's her mother. And I'm sorry, I'm prejudiced. Her mother
Amazing.
Her mother can tear some drums up. But listen, this young lady right here, and now she's a young woman of just 27 years old, started her own business. Do you also train people to play drums, or you just take your music and go?
Honestly, I just take my music and go because I learned how to also play by ear. So whatever I listen to, I catch on to it really fast. So I haven't gotten to the space where I can, do hands-on, one-on-one teaching because I'm still learning myself. And I say that a lot. I'm very transparent. Every time I get on the drums, I'm learning something new. Every time I get on the drums, I'm unlocking a new level. So I take all of that in. And I just use that because I know one day I'm going to be able to teach other kids and things like that. And that's something I really wouldn't mind doing in the future.
Wonderful. So would you say in about the next 5 years, you would see that you have reached that plateau where you are able to not only take your music on the road and do your, expand with your gift, that you might be able to be teaching others to play as well in about 5 years?
Oh, yes. If it's the Lord's will, most definitely.
Absolutely beautiful. Now, as a young woman, an entrepreneur where there's so much competition all over the place, what would you say was the hardest part about you starting Beauty and the Beats?
The hardest part was support.
Okay.
We all look for support, especially from friends and family. And they always say like, oh yeah, you should expect support from strangers before those in your circle and things of that nature. And I'm just one person who doesn't agree with that. I feel like the same energy we put into going out and having a good time and, doing all the extra stuff should be reciprocated when a friend starts a business. That's important because we need a village too. Not just children, adults need a village. So I feel like we should all have that. And that was one of the hardest things, was just the support. And later on down the line, I just started to be okay with the fact that not everybody's going to support. They going to see you though. They want to see it, but they're not going to always support. And I just feel like as long as Beauty and the Beats is being sent out, outside of my comfort zone, and as long as Beauty and the Beast is traveling to, for example, I had a friend purchase from Houston, Texas, and North Carolina and Virginia. Those are the ones that matter to me, because it's like, you don't have to, but you're taking the time out to support, and that means a lot. Mm-hmm. That means a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. And I 100% agree. And we are going to just pray that you get more of the support to help you going. Not that you will not accomplish your goals without the support, because we know that God is standing behind you and pushing you all the way. So right. You all, everybody that's listening, make sure you look up the Beauty and the Beats. Now we want your support for this young, dynamic woman. So now, for someone who's starting, and for a young entrepreneur starting, words of encouragement, what would you say to them, someone who's just starting out and struggling?
Well, I will most definitely say, do not rush the process. Take your time. It's a lot that's already going on, and I feel like at the end of the day, you can't hit every goal at once. Just take your time with it. Keep a steady pace, because you don't want to stress yourself out either, because you got to be right so you can operate in all those areas that you need to operate in. So, I believe strong in mental health. Take time out to go to therapy or something, or, just have that one-on-one time with your own self. Take time out to write down what your next step is going to be. Don't ever look at anybody else as a competition. Everybody is gifted in their own ways. What works for somebody else just works for somebody else. Do what works for you, and always stay positive and always keep God first. That's number one. I should have said that first. Mm-hmm. Definitely keep God first, because only He can, guide you and put you in places you probably thought you would never be able to step foot in. Like, I've seen it happen. I have. And I also would like to say, at the end of the day, always remember, support comes in different ways, and don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged if you don't get the support right away. It's okay. Keep posting, keep sharing. I don't care if nobody likes it. You be your own fan. Be your biggest fan. Post it every single chance you get, because I promise you, it's going to take one person to see it, and you can go from wow to, oh my God, I'm making 6 figures. It can happen. It can happen. And I believe everybody should just keep pushing and doing what they have to do. Like, I just love to see the young entrepreneurs win.
Absolutely. Wow. Words of wisdom. You need to be on a platform somewhere talking to young entrepreneurs. And I love it when you said, take your time. Don't try to rush it, because when you try to compete with other people, that's where you fall off. Because at that point, you're taking your eyes off of your goal, and you are too busy looking at what someone else is doing, and you could stumble along the way. So I love that you said, take your time and do what it is you have to do. All right. So now I want you to tell everyone how they can get in touch with you.
You can definitely find me on Facebook at ILONA GOODRICH. You can also find me on Instagram at Oh My Lala Bonita. I know it's a totally different name. It's okay. Same person. And you can also follow me on TikTok at ILONA Goodrich. I post a lot of my drunk videos. I started off on TikTok with, I think, 1,000 something likes. Now I'm at 72.3K. So, I just love to put all of my talents. I put Beauty and the Beats on there every chance I get. So I'm there. I'm always on social media. A lot of people know me not just for playing drums, but just for being a comedian. Because, I am the comedian of my family. They don't never want to admit it, but I am. And yes, absolutely. So those 3 platforms you can definitely follow me on. I follow that.
Wonderful. Do you have an email address?
My email address is ilonadenise@hotmail.com.
Beautiful. Ilona Denise. Now that you said that, it's a funny thing. That name that you just mentioned, Ilona Denise, has such a beautiful ring to it. And yes, my friends, I'm going to admit it. My first entrepreneur of the day was a young lady named Unique Teasley. She was my granddaughter. Another young lady that I had as a beautiful young entrepreneur was Jessica Goodrich. She is my granddaughter as well, and the sister of Ilona Goodrich. Another entrepreneur that I had was Dr. Antoinette Goodrich. She was my daughter, a beautiful woman of God, a dynamic powerhouse. And Ilona is Antoinette's eldest daughter and my granddaughter and my namesake. That beautiful name, Ilona Denise, is mine.
And is.
And she is such a joy, the sweetest person you could want to know. Yes, she is a comedian, and I encourage you to get Beauty and the Beats. Do you have any merch that you have available from Beauty and the Beats?
Yes, I do. I do have a few t-shirts on hand, but you can also order directly through me. I have hoodies on sale for $50, and then I have t-shirts for $30, and shipping is $5. And I have all colors and all sizes.
Wonderful. Listen, if you want to have some stomp down church, you want those drums to be playing that the music gets all in your baby toe to make you want to dance and shout all over the place, get Beauty and the Beats, because not only is she a dynamic drummer, she travels with other dynamic musicians. Tell them briefly a little bit about the other musicians that's in Beauty and the Beats.
Well, as of right now, I don't currently have any musicians in Beauty and the Beats, but I do also play in an all-girls band that is separate from Beauty and the Beats. My all-girls band is me, of course. We have Lanique Monet, she's the MD. We have Katrina, who plays organ. She's from Brooklyn, New York. And we have Sabrina Banks, who plays the bass, and she is from New Jersey.
Okay, so the musicians that I saw are not a part of Beauty and the Beats. They're with your female band.
Yes, it's a female band. Yes.
Okay, I got it. Beautiful. And they made some beautiful music.
Oh, yes.
Oh, absolutely. She travels with the absolute best. And I just love what you are doing with your life. I love the direction that you're going in. I encourage you to keep going at your pace, but we are going to rally behind you and support you. Come on, y'all, get some of those t-shirts and those hoodies. Even though it's sweltering out today, the cool weather's going to come and you're going to need those hoodies. So get those beautiful Beauty and the Beats hoodies. My granddaughter has 2 black hoodies that she wears daily.
And I love that for her.
Oh my gosh. It's like her mother's like, you do have other clothes, you know. And she says, that's my favorite. That's my favorite. So, and it's very comfortable, it's pleasant to the skin. And I encourage you to rally behind this dynamic woman, ILONA Goodrich from New York, that will just set your musical soul on fire. I thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate it, Lona, that you taking the time, and you did an absolutely wonderful job. And we pray that God will continue to open the windows of heaven and rain favor and blessings down on you. So is there any words that you would like to say in parting to our friends?
Yes, I would like to say thank you so much for having me, Grandma. I enjoyed this. It was amazing. And I love you dearly. I'm happy with what you're doing because, you know, you the best. You the best.
Oh, thank you, Lona. I appreciate it. And if to you and all my friends that's listening, if you have any young entrepreneurs or older entrepreneurs, anyone who has started a business, who is going on doing their absolute best, if you'd like to be a guest on my podcast, Hanging with the Boss Lady, all you have to do is send me a message and we will make it happen. And with that, we're going to let everyone get back to their day. Lona, you have an absolutely wonderful ending to your day. And until we all meet again, may the Lord...
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And may the Lord God bless you real good. Boss Lady out.